Self-Love Sunday. I am Tarnisha Mosas, your host of Self-Love Sundays with Sass. I'm your certified vision strategist coach who comes every single week so we can talk about all the ways in which we can better our best. And let me tell you something, I'm coming in hot and heavy today because I want to talk about something that is in the way for every one of us. Okay. This is something that's holding you back in life. This is something that's hindering your love life. This is something that's hindering your gift. This is something that's hindering your business. This is something that's hindering your promotion. This is something that's hindering your relationships with your children. This is something that's hindering your relationship with your friends and family. This is something that's hindering you from the very relationship with yourself. Okay. And what I'm talking about today is two known killers in the world that no one ever really wants to diagnose. However, they require a diagnosis, and that is shame and guilt. Let me tell y'all something that happened to me. It was like this past week. Okay. So I would say last Sunday, um, a friend of mine, we decided to share some deep things between one another. And let me tell you something. It is one thing to have people know the outer parts of you, the parts that everybody else see. It's something completely different when you stand before someone completely bare naked, almost bearing your soul and letting out that one thing, because we all have that one thing. Let me tell you something that we're not going to do today. We're not going to sit in here and pretend that we don't have the one thing. We all have one thing that we feel an immense amount of shame from, whether it is someone who has touched us sexually, whether it is an STD, whether it is the divorce, whether it is the loss of money, whether it is that you're broke and you're pretending not to be, whether it is that you are not in contact, your children are not in contact with you, whether it is, you come from a dysfunctional family, whether it is your father isn't in your life or your mother isn't in your life, or they were drug addicts, or you once were a drug addict, or you drank too much alcohol, you're an alcoholic, whatever that thing is. Okay, it's the one thing that you would just assume go to your deathbed with. But here's why I'm going to tell you today why you can't do that. Let me tell you what's happening. Each and every one of us has a gift. I don't know if you feel the shift in the atmosphere right now, but 2025 is a different kind of year. It is a year where everything is kind of being shaken up. There are things happening behind the scenes that people are not aware of. I'm talking about in the financial industry as well. I'm watching, different things. As a matter of fact, I was in something yesterday and it was talking about how Warren Buffett was dumping like massive amounts of stocks, right? And you have to ask yourself what's happening in the world. The problem is we can't get to what's happening in the world because we can't even get to a place within us that we are settled in our mind, we're settled in our heart, we're settled in our body, and we're settled in our spirit. And the reason why we can't get there is because there's a shame and a guilt that is holding us, that is plaguing us back. Let me tell you something. Me, Miss Bold as I am, okay, Miss, I am the vision strategist coach. I am an author. I'm a speaker. Even I have something that is buried deep within me that I had to let out. And let me tell you, in the midst of it, I didn't realize why I had to let it out. And we're going to talk about it. And I need y'all to hang in there with me today because I'm telling you, this is going to change your entire life if you let it. So I didn't realize in the moment why I had to let it out. Okay, because here's the thing. The enemy has tried many things with me. So if you've been around for a while, you know a little bit of my story. I started off as a 322 a month welfare mom. I was 16 and pregnant. I had a plethora of kids, as well as, I've lost two sons. So I've buried two sons. I mean, I've buried so many people. Who was like a sister to me, just January, my cousin, I didn't see that coming. So let me tell you something that happens with me. There are things that happen in my life that God tried. I mean, where the devil tried his best with me. He took his best shot. Boom, hit me with a curveball here. Boom, hit me with a curveball. And it's like, yo, you can't stop me. You took your best shot. You took my sons. And I'm still showing up and I'm still here. And I'm still moving forward and I'm still working with my children and I'm still working with other people and I'm still in my calling, right? And there is still one thing though that he knows that's still sitting in the back, sitting deep buried in the corner of my mind that plagues me deeply. Okay. And at the time that I have to let this thing out, Okay, I don't have to. I chose to, and then I realized that I get to, and that I was blessed to let it out. Um, at the time, I didn't realize. I thought it was to let this person in a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more vulnerability, a little more transparency, because transparency is everything. And I'm going to tell you, I value transparency over honesty, and I'll explain what that means. Okay, so honesty is, hey, did you go to the park today? And you answer, yes, I went to the park today. That's honesty. Transparency is, hey, I'm going to the park, and when I get down there, it's going to be Keisha, Sheree, and guess what? Steve is coming too. That's transparency. There is a difference. Many people pride themselves on being honest, but many are not transparent. And then you wonder why things are shaking up in your life the way that they are. However, I digress. So at the time, I'm thinking me sharing this thing was about this other person. What I realized is, and listen, I've told you guys, I have a secret to my success. I have tools in my toolbox, right? So I realized as I let this thing out the bag, and I'm telling you, it was tough for me. It was really, really hard. It was so bad. It was so fear gripping, like it had a hold on my tongue almost. Like the words were there and I just couldn't get it out, right? Like that's how strong the stronghold was on this thing of shame and guilt. It was like, no, you're not going to speak this thing. And in the midst of it, I'm not really realizing why that's happening, why I can't speak it, why it's not coming out, right? And my friend, like major patience, right, in this release, because we had already they had already shared with me their thing. So major patience, right? And finally I get to it and I let it out. And let me tell you what happened, because many of us live like this. Okay, so I'm gonna give it to you how I saw it, the vision of it, and then also how I walked it back with my therapist. I want y'all to hear me though. I didn't just give something away that was so powerful. I actually had tools in my toolbox to be there afterwards so I can walk through this with myself. And so here's what most people are like, because this is me, right? And I'm not saying everybody's like me. What I'm saying is a lot of people live here, where you've created this house. It's a two-story house, okay? And in the middle floor, everything is beautiful. Oh my God, you got the brand new kitchen. You have the granite countertops. You have the white kitchen cabinets. You have the stainless steel. You have the crystal chandelier. Oh, it's beautiful, honey. I'm talking about all the colors in us on the wall. I mean, when you walk in, you just say, oh, look what I've created. It is beautiful in here. Let me tell you something. And everybody who walks in, they're going to see all of this here beauty, all right? It is just the most gorgeous atmosphere in your home. It's beautiful, laid and slayed. Okay. And then there's the attic. And that attic is one of those attics where you have to kind of pull the lever down. It's a really old school type of house, and you got to walk up there. But when you pull that lever down, it's dark. It's boxes, and it's cobwebs, and it's crows, and it's spiders, and all the shades are down. There's no light. It's dim in there. It's dim in there. And so, where this secret that you hold lies, it lies within that place, it lies within the attic. That's where it is. And so, when you open up the door to the attic, what tends to happen is that all of the things that are lying up there, now they all start to open up. They all start to open up, because it's like opening up Pandora's box, baby. And so that all those emotions that came with it, all the fear that came with it, all the doubt that came with it, all the lack that came with it, all the unworthiness that came with it, all of that now is open. It's open. And so what happens is, for me, I'm like, oh my God, I opened the attic door and like the crows just start flying out. And it was like and it was overwhelming. And then I got a revelation. And this is, I learned this too. A lot of people don't like conflict, but let me tell you something. Without conflict, there's no revelation. I need you to hear that. Without conflict is no revelation. I know we all want peace. Cool. I do too. And there's a place for conflict. Okay. And so what was revealing to me is that I've overcome so much in my life. I have made it to different heights. I started off 322 welfare mother. I've managed to be in corporate America 28 years and manage. I managed to be well into six figures. I managed to start my own business. I managed to run my own community. I managed to do great things. And I was wondering what is it that's holding me back though from my next level? What was the thing that's in the way? And then I realized in the revelation of it all, it was the very thing that was up in that attic. It was the thing that kept a strong hold on me, almost a muzzle to where, oh my God, if they found out this thing about me, then my whole world will fall apart. I need y'all to hear that. I literally in my head thought that if someone knew this thing about me, that meant everything that I had done in this world, all the good, all the love, everything I show up here and do every Sunday, all of that would be like somehow magically erased because I have a secret, because there's things dwelling in the secret place. Let me tell you why you got to speak that thing. You got to speak that thing because what I realized is the enemy was saying, oh, I got you. I'm going to hold you here and I'm going to hold you to this. And then let me tell you something else that happened. Your nervous system becomes dysregulated. Your like the anxiety, all of it just comes rushing in like a wind. And if you just learned how to sit in it, if you just learned to let the emotions come, if you just learn to just start unpacking the boxes. And as a matter of fact, how about just don't unpack them? How about just throw them things on the dump truck? Imagine a dump truck rolling up to your house and you just throwing them boxes out. You've opened up the windows. Start clearing out the cobwebs. Start letting it go. And you know something, people always talk about let it burn, right? Like just let it burn. People don't understand, like when talking about burning the boats, right? Burn all your boats. Yeah, burn the boats that the enemy is using to hold you back. Burn the damn boat. Burn the boat. Speak it. I know it's hard. I know you're going to cry. I know it feels like your world is going to come to an end. I know it feels like you can't breathe. Here's the thing. I get it. And let me tell you something. I'm still standing. And that's why I'm still standing. And that's why I'm making this video for you today, to let you know I spoke the ugly truth of me. And yet I'm still standing. I'm standing tall in that thing. You know why? Because God has graced me with an anointing and he has graced me with a gift. And I'm going to speak that gift. And the enemy thought that if I can just pull her back, if I could just hold her back, if I could just keep her in a place of shame and guilt, if I can keep her in hiding, guess what? And she would never fully come out. Well, guess what? He chose the wrong one. And I'm asking you today, is he choosing the wrong one with you? Will you speak that thing? And I'm going to tell you this too. That doesn't mean that you go out into the world and blast it. That's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm telling you to do is find a safe space. What does a safe space look like? It could look like a coach. It could look like being in a program. They have a program called Next Level Trainings. Beautiful program that actually started my journey of breaking free from this thing, right? It could look like talking to a therapist. For me, it looked like telling a friend. Okay, I actually told a friend before, friend, right? Like it looked like that. But what I refuse to do is let the enemy win. What I refuse to do is shrink back. What I refuse to do is go to my deathbed with this shame and guilt still riding me like a wave. What? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's holding you back from walking in. You want to know why you're not in purpose. You want to know why you're not fulfilled. You want to know why you don't have the love you desire. You don't know why you don't have the relationship desire, because that thing is holding you back. It's that one thing that keeps things at bay and you don't even know it. It's a subconscious thing. I didn't even realize it. Like, it was keeping me at bay from so many things subconsciously. Now, a lot of people don't walk around just intentionally. I know people love, like, listen, can y'all get off the internet for a second? Oh, people know what they're doing. There's some people that subconsciously are just moving about this earth. It's not intentional. It really isn't. It wasn't intentional that I couldn't fully show up and give my all to certain people. It wasn't intentional that I couldn't fully be transparent. It wasn't intentional that I couldn't fully be vulnerable. It wasn't intentional. I was being held down and held under in what it felt like by gunpoint, by shame and guilt. And it wasn't until I spoke that thing when I was like, you know what? I'm good. And I'm going to keep speaking it. I'm going to keep speaking it in safe spaces until I feel safe within it. Do you hear me? Until I feel safe within it. Because here's the thing. It's not even about what the other people are going to think about you. It's what you think about you. 9 times out of 10 when you speak it, because this is what happened to me, most people be like, okay. Because we all have things. It's just that your things feel so big and it feels so compounding because that's what the enemy will do with your mind. He will try to snatch it from you. Everything you desire is on the other side of fear. Everything you desire is on the other side of speaking. Everything you desire is on the other side of shame and guilt. So many of us are walking around with anxiety and depression all over shame and guilt. The enemy's slick with it too, though. Slick with it. And here you are buried deep in your attic, not showing up fully, not loving fully, probably giving your gift, but not in the way that's full and open. Not in the way where it says, I'm going to stand here naked knowing that God got me, knowing that he really rides with me. We have a little bit of faith, but not a lot of faith, which means we have none. I hate to be the one to break it to you. And I'm going to tell you, when you stand up and you make a bold declaration, the enemy going to come with everything he got. You think I wasn't in my feelings all week? You think I didn't cry all week? You don't think I probably woke up crying? You don't think? Yes, he's going to come. It's going to come in like a flood. But let me tell you something that I learned from my beautiful, beautiful mentor that I got to see yesterday and hug and put my arms around and feel her anointing, Priscilla Shire. She said that every time the enemy makes a move, guess what? Our master, our God, he makes a move too. And his moves are he's always 4 or 5 steps ahead of the enemy because he already knows the end. And if we can just get out of our own way, if we can just get out of that thing that's holding us back, if we just can get out of our shame and guilt, if we can just speak the thing that we believe that makes us unlovable and unworthy, and the thing that continues to hold us back year after year. And every time we make a new declaration, new year, new me, you can't get to the new you because that thing is hanging on and it's pulling you back and it's calling you to the bottle. It's calling you to have sex with people, creating soul ties. You know, something that's interesting. I had this conversation with somebody and I was talking about, the phone, right? And just like when I get married, I desire a marriage where, we can just, our phones can be open. We can know each other passwords and all that stuff. And here's the thing, because I don't think like most people. Let's just get this straight. It's not about going in somebody's phone. It's not about violating somebody's privacy. It's the thought pattern, right? How in the world are you willing to create a soul tie with somebody? Because that's what you do when you lay down and have sex with them, but you're not willing to let them in your phone. What you're saying is what's in your phone. God help me, Jesus. What's in your phone is more important than the soul tie? Like, what world do we live in? I'm telling you, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's about not allowing the enemy to use anything. This is how I think. Why is that? Because you know what the enemy will do? He'll use that phone. He'll use that phone. He'll use the phone. I want in my marriage, it doesn't have to be for anybody else. Let me just be clear. In mine, though, as for me and my house, not only will we serve the Lord, we will be transparent because I know how the enemy works. He will use the phone. He will use the person on the job, your job wife or your job husband. He will use the guy or the woman at the grocery store. He will use the Instagram. He will use the Facebook. You know what? Because he understands the flesh. We're dying to our flesh. He loves the fact that you're inconsistent. You know why I love consistency? People don't understand me. I love consistency because whoever that you decide to partner with, whether it's in friendship, in business, or in marriage, that's your covering. And if your covering is inconsistent, that means you're going to be left vulnerable in a vulnerable state. That means that the enemy can come in like a flood. Do you hear me? Marriage is about your covenant. Who's covering you? Who are you covering? And how you get there is through going up in that attic and speaking the thing. So I want to give you really quickly um, ways to help you regulate your nervous system as you decide to do it. Number one, first and foremost, journal. You're gonna have to get out of your head. You're gonna have to journal it all out. You're gonna have to journal it all. I mean, you're gonna have to journal it all out. Okay? Journal it all out. And as you're journaling, you're gonna have to ask yourself two very important questions. Number one, ask yourself in the revealing of this thing, what's the worst that can happen? Play it all out. Go all out with it. I had to go all out with it. Play it all out. What's the worst that can happen? Okay? That's the first thing. First question I want you to ask yourself, right? The second question I want you to ask yourself, what's the best that can happen? What's the best that can happen? What's the best outcome? What is the best outcome? What is the best outcome? Let me tell you something that I did recently. Okay. I made a bold declaration to God because I was tired. I was sitting in my car. As a matter of fact, where was I? No, was I in my car? Yes, I was in my car. I'm driving and I'm upset and I'm my mind is going a mile a minute and I'm just going down this rabbit hole of negativity and it's going and I'm spiraling. Keep it a buck. I was spiraling. And I got in a moment something snapped in me and was like, wait a minute. No. Like, no, God, like God, hold on. I've cried, I've sacrificed, I've pleaded, and I've begged, I've done all those things, right? I suffered. How about, no, Jesus, show me how good it can get. Show me how good it can get, God. Show me how good it can get. And then I started getting into the scriptures, Romans 8:18 from the NIV. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. And then I was like, okay, cool. Let's take it further. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper and not harm you, but you can't harm yourself in the process. You hear me? You can't harm yourself in the process. You can't harm yourself in the process. How can I? What do you mean harm myself? Mo? You can't be up in that attic. You got to open up that attic door. Baby, you got to open up that attic door. And I know it's scary and I know it feels heavy, but you got to open that door. You got to open that door. And if you are a believer, you got to know that God is with you. And if you're not a believer, I need you to start to believing in something, baby. I'm not here to tell you who. But as for me and my house, you already heard me say, we shall serve the Lord. But if he has plans to prosper and not harm us, plans to give us a hope and a future, then guess what? It can be better. So why don't be afraid to ask God to show you how good it can get. Now, I told you before that when you make a bold declaration, don't think the enemy is not coming for your mind. It is not anybody that is outside of you that is the issue. It is what's happening in your mind. So you have to be transformed by the renewance of your mind. That means that every single day, also on top of that journaling, you have to get into the word. You have to know what the word says about you. You have to know what the word says you are. The word says that you're fearfully and wonderfully made, that you're a head and not the tail. And until you can believe it, because I know it's hard to believe in the beginning, guess what? You have to just keep saying it over and over again. And as you keep saying it over and over again, just take another step and another step and another step and another step and another step. But don't you go back in that attic. Don't you close that door. Don't you close the door. Don't you close the door. Leave it open. Leave it open. Surround yourself with good people. I'm going to brunch with my girlfriend today who I love beyond life, and she's a prayer warrior. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep the door open. Find and here's the thing: cry and release. It's okay to cry. It's cleansing. Let it out and then surrender. That's the hardest part of it all. Because we say we give it to God, but we really don't. We close the attic door. And we live on that first floor where everything is and we look good. Nails done, hair done, everything did. Until that attic door opens. To that attic door. But that's why you gotta seek first the kingdom. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all things shall be given to you. So what that's saying to you is, and I hope that you hear me today as I get ready to kind of bring this to a close. Make sure that as you walk through this journey of life, as you're walking towards purpose, as you're finding your purpose, as you're walking towards fulfillment because you're tired of being unfulfilled, you're tired of crying, you're tired of pleading, you're tired of begging, seek first the kingdom. Get into the word. Listen, I'm not here to tell you should believe in Jesus Christ. That's not my job, okay? My job is to show you the fruits of my life and what he's done for me. And let me tell you something. When I tell you the enemy has taken his best shot and I'm still standing, if you don't know there is a God, I don't know what to tell you. I just told you my start was a 322 a month welfare mother. I have told you before that I was touched at 13 by my aunt's then husband, boyfriend, I don't even know at the time, because my mind was so worked out. I told you that spent my life on an axis. I told you that I found myself being in places and spaces and doing things that were unbecoming of me. I've told you in my book, Finding Your Way, 7 Ways to Love and Heal Yourself, my entire story from dealing with men that I wasn't supposed to be with and all the things, and from burying my 2 sons. Yet I stand. You know why? Because I didn't fold and I didn't quit in the process. Don't you fold, don't you quit in the process. Don't you close that attic door. Get you a system of success. Find you a therapist, a coach, a safe program like next level training. Find you they have all sorts of like group therapy. If the other one things are not for you, find someone that you trust, that you have to have discernment. If all else fails, email me, info@mosas.com. If all else fails, email me. If all else fails, message me. If all else fails, know that I got you. If all else fails, know that God sent me here for such a time as this to remind you right here, right now, that everything that you desire is on the other side of this thing. That just know that he walked me, dragged me through it so I can come here and share this message with you today. And then after you've gone through all of it, I want you to stand before God and say, God, show me how good it can get. Show me how good it can get. Come to him, empty, poured out. Stand before him, not in arrogance, but in alignment. Asking him to show you how truly good it can get. He planted that dream in you. He gave you the vision. He told you, he showed you the end, so you know what's coming. So you have to ask him along the way, okay? Because aren't you ready to be on the other side of suffering? I know I am. The side where joy is sustainable, where peace is your rhythm, where you're walking in your calling every day and everything doesn't feel like a distant hope for you. Ask him. Declare it with boldness. Stand in expectation of it and watch God move. Watch God move. I love you, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing you could do about it. Next week we're going to go a little bit deeper in this because I want to share something that happened yesterday that was so amazing. And had I not done the work, had I not opened the attic and continue to leave the attic door open, I wouldn't have been in position for what took place. And I want to share that more with you next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I will talk to you then. Bye now.